Yo, what's up guys? It's Rye here, Bull City Speed, and I am so sorry YouTube for it has been a long time since I've given any of you guys an update on what's the projects that are going on around here. And a lot has been happening. Again, I am moving. I keep saying that over and over and over again, but it's been hectic. So what I'm going to do a little bit different. I filmed a ton of footage for this, and I just don't have time to edit it right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to knock this out. I'm going to give you guys an update on the blue car all in one take. So if you're ready and you're hungry, let's eat, because I'm about to shove it down your throat. So let's go start at the front. Actually, let's start at the back. The front's pretty exciting. So at the back of the car, we've been working on the fuel system. Pretty much got the whole fuel system all wrapped up. And check this out. Down here, you can see we have the relays and a fuse box. All right, we have the pump it up. That's right, that's really corny. I don't care. And then we have the battery is in here and mounted. She's not going anywhere. I'm gonna clean up some of this wiring, secure all that. And the fuel tank is inside the back of the car now. So, fuel system rundown, really simple. I got a Walbro 255 in-tank pump. It's attached to a On3 Performance billet aluminum triple pump hat. Be aware of that thing, man. We went through 6 pumps before we finally found a combination that would work. Initially, I started out with, I wanted triple Walbro 450s because 450s are beasts. They supply a ton of power, but guess what? They don't fit in the hat. Nobody told me that. Live and learn. So we put a 255 in there. 255 size fits great. 255 Walbro is a beast. It runs great in OEM applications. I wanted to put this thing in there for reliability purposes. It needs to run cool all the time. It needs to be a street car, which is what this is gonna be. So we wanted street car reliability. Nothing says reliable fuel pump, fuel system like an OEM application. So we went with the Walbro. That leads to the other 2 pumps. Those are Deechworks 340 liter per hour pumps. Big ones, moderately big ones. Nothing crazy, but that combination should supply plenty of power. Those pumps, don't want to drop you. Those pumps are going to be activated by 3 different things. Either A, wide open throttle, B, anything over 3,000 RPMs, or C, anything over 5 pounds of boost. Whatever I decide to program it at, who knows? We'll see. So that's going to keep it running off the small pump all the time, and then when you need the fuel on demand, it's there whenever you want it. So all that goes to the front of the car through this. Let's take a trip from underneath. Boom, bam. Y'all want to tell some campfire stories? Check this out. You want to see some scary stuff for everybody else out there on the streets? That's going to feed the fuel system into dash 10 into our MagnaFuel fuel filter all the way up to the front of the car. And you can also see up underneath here, we ran the battery cable. I still need to put an anti-chafing thing on there. You can also see there is something missing under here. What is missing? The entire rear axle. I have pulled out the IRS out of the car. The rear axle, solid rear axle, is out getting built right now. That is going to be a 8.8 with 327 gears and all strange engineering spool, C-clip eliminators, 35 spline axles, and we're going to keep the OEM Cobra, 03 Cobra OEM rear disc brakes. I think it's like an 11-inch rotor or something like that. Nothing crazy. Should be plenty of stopping power for what this car is going to do. So that wraps up the fuel system from the back. And coming up to the front here, it's going to feed into, let's see if you can see this while I still talk. And you can see, yeah, there you go. Right here, that little guy is on the return. That is the flex fuel sensor. That's a GM flex fuel sensor. This is going to be an E85 car primarily, but we do want the ability to monitor the ethanol content without having to, mess with test tubes and all that crap. And we also want to be able to adjust the tune as necessary for whatever that ethanol content is. So that's pretty trick. The Mega Squirt will support all of that. Then, moving right along, that feeds. Okay, sorry if I'm blinding you guys. Pardon me, I usually edit all this crap out afterwards, but like I said, we don't have time for any of that. I'm kind of in a hurry too. It's a little bit late. I want to go to bed. Down in here, you can see that. I hope you can see that right there. So that dash 10 splits off into two dash 8s, goes into the Holley EFI fuel rails attached to the Holley high ram intake. This thing is awesome. It's a beast. Look at it. It's monstrous. And then it's going to feed the 210 pound per hour fuel injectors. Little thing about these fuel injectors. So there's a lot of rumor mill thoughts, opinions out there about these injectors on the internet, about whether or not they work. They kind of get a bad rap because of the 160 pound injectors. They're cousins. The 160 pounders have somewhat of an issue with fuel temperatures. When the fuel temp gets too hot, the injectors start to go crazy. They get a mind of their own. So it's because they're originally made for CNG, compressed natural gas. Cars that run on propane, stuff like that, or LP, whatever you want to call it. And that's what the 210 pound injectors were originally made for as well. The 160 pounders have a plastic or a nylon pintle inside of them. Then when the fuel temperature starts to rise, which on a street car it's going to, especially in a return style system, or even a returnless system, no matter what, when you're moving fuel, it's going to heat up. As that fuel temperature goes up, the control of the injectors starts to go away. And it's not predictable, it's not linear, it just goes wonky on you. And you can start to have a car that runs like crap. That's not a problem with a track-only car if you're just ripping down the quarter mile. That's not a big deal. But it is a big deal if you plan on running your car on the street. So we went with these 210 pound CNG injectors. They're like $500, $600 on eBay if you can find them. There's kind of a shortage out there of them, so they are a little tough to come by. But if you can track them down, bang for the buck, I think they work really good. I have a set on my car, my orange car, and I have had zero issues with them. Running E85, and I pick my kids up in the summer from, no, not summer, but I pick my kids up in like August from school in the thing when it's, here in Southern California when it's like 90 degrees out, sitting in traffic, idling, zero issues with them. So that's my take on them. I've had good luck with them. Your results may vary, so roll the dice. Don't take it from me. I'm not a pro, remember that, but that's a not so pro tip for you. If you don't have $2,000 to spend on a injector that has, 3-letter name, 2-letter name, I don't know how many letter ID, yeah, it's 2, whatever. If you don't have like $4,000, man, I really wish I was editing all this out afterwards. If you don't have stacks of cash to just blow on luxurious items such as high dollar, high impedance, fuel injector connection injectors, sir, then go get yourself some Bosch CNG injectors and give it a shot. So, what else? Moving right along. Let's go to fuel pressure regulator. This bad mamma jamma right here. Man, this selfie mode kind of sucks trying to film the other way. This guy right here is a MagnaFuel fuel pressure regulator. It is meant for E85. If you didn't know this, and I saw somebody on Facebook asking some questions, not all fuel pressure regulators are the same, okay? They don't all run at the same pressure, all right? If it's meant for EFI, it will tell you it's for EFI. It runs at a lot higher pressure than a carbureted one does. So make sure you get the right one for your application. Also, because this is a turbo application, this is boosted, all the boost coming out of here. That is also boost referenced. This line right here provides a boost signal to it. So think of it like this. If you run 40 psi of fuel pressure and you don't boost reference it, and you run 10 pounds of boost, right? Fuel is trying to push down into your intake, into the boost stream, the airstream to feed the motor. Tracking 40 pounds. If I have 10 pounds of boost pressure filling the intake, trying to pressurize the intake, it's also trying to push that fuel back up into the injector. So that means it kind of, in a way, if this makes sense, if you're following along, that knocks your boost down that knocks your fuel pressure down from 40. Yeah, take away, you're fighting another 10 pounds of just air pressure inside the intake. Now you only have 30 pounds of fuel pressure. So your bigger injectors can start to act like smaller and smaller and smaller as you go up, 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 up. As you put in more air, you get less and less fuel. Not a good thing. You want the opposite. So with a boost reference regulator, it's a 1-to-1 ratio on this one. So it means for every pound of boost pressure, it's going to up the fuel pressure 1 pound to offset the two fighting each other. That's boost reference in a nutshell. Google some more research on that if you want to know more. But that's a quick little snippet of how that all works. So what else we got? Yeah, that pretty much wraps up the fuel system on here. And that's about all that's exciting there. What else is going on here? Check this out. This is... I can't wait to hear the way this sounds when it cracks off. Check that out. Can you see that? Where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. This is exhaust. That's right. I put bull horns on a snake. Check that out. There's another one. And there's the other one. 2 of them. Yeah. And we got these trick anodized rings right here. So once we finalize where the motor is going to sit and I get a transmission in here, transmission is on order. Once the transmission is in and the engine is sitting where it needs to be, then I can figure out where these are going to sit. Right now they're still adjustable. I cut the hole really, really tight. All this is, so it's 3.5 inches stainless right here off the turbo. Real fart. Into the wideband. And then right here, stainless steel band clamp. And then this is just aluminum mandrel. We bought like $150 worth of a bunch of 3.5 inch aluminum bends. Will it hold up? I think so. It's not really like it's holding up any weight. And it should be fine. I don't see why it wouldn't. Anyway, I could be wrong. We'll see. And if it is, then it's really cheap. It's literally just a 45-degree piece of tubing. Not a big deal to change that out. I need to get something to drink. Pardon me. 1 second. Big gulps, huh? Well, see you later. So what else have we done? Wiring is beginning. I'm starting to run all the wires inside the car. And man, pardon this. You saw how the trunk looked. It looks pretty sano in there. It's pretty sanitary. Pretty sanitary. Is that where that word comes from? Not sure. Anyway. This mess is what's going on inside the car right now. We've taken the airbag out because, there's no airbag sensors in it. And honestly, I think an airbag with a helmet is kind of a silly idea. And it sounds somewhat dangerous to me. So, airbags are coming out. I've kind of used that though to give me a little bit more access. I've mounted the AEM. These are the wide bands, and they're mounted in the clock replacement gauge pod. So this is an 0304 Cobra, 04 to be exact. If you know anything, I think 98 and up, they don't have that clock pod there. There's not a clock on the dash. The clock got moved to the stereo in these cars. But you can still add gauges there if you want to. You just have to be steady with the camera, and you also got to be about that life, about that race car life, and willing to cut holes in a perfectly good car. So all you do is just punch a hole right in the dash, and that thing will mount in there and run the gauges up in there. I like putting them there because it's like right in front of your face. You can just glance over while you're driving. I've never really been a big fan of like the A-pillar stuff because you see them everywhere. I kind of like doing stuff a little bit different. What else? So transmission is on order. We have a T56 Magnum. It's kind of a trick setup. It's LS1 on the front half, but the transmission for the rear half is for Mustang Cobra. So the shifter location should work out. Usually when you put a T56 from a GM in a Mustang, the shifter handle is way to the back. This should put it pretty much in a stock location, save us a little bit of time. I am concerned because we did push this motor back against the flex plate, against the firewall, that the bell housing might be an issue. So, in anticipation of that, and because I'm on a time crunch, I'm going to go ahead and just get up underneath the car with an air hammer and just beat the trans tunnel out as much as possible, make sure I have as much room. My goal is to have this car fired off and waiting for the transmission to arrive. And that's pretty much where we're at. What else? Yeah, that's it. I'm working on putting the dash in, the Raspberry Pi dash. I got to get that hooked up. Once that's hooked up, oh, here, let me show you this. The Megasquirt MS3 Pro is mounted in the car. I started tapping into, this looks like just a terrible hot mess. I apologize. And now I'm just blinding the Nikes out of you. So, have been looking at the harness here, trying to figure out, kind of where I can steal power from. Good news, I found where the right front turn signal went, so we will have all functional lights. It's the only light that I could not find on the harness under the hood because it comes out of the right side. It's actually integrated on the engine harness here. Anyway, figured that out. What else? Here you go. Here's what I wanted to show you. That is behind all this bull crap. There you go. Tucked up where the factory ECU would go. MS3 Pro Ultimate. And then we're adding our inputs and outputs. It's so easy to add inputs and outputs to this thing. All you have to do is you consult the manual, right? This bad boy right here is a cheat sheet for all the connectors that are on that ECU. You find the connector that you need to add a wire to, right? Pop this little red clip down right here, and then on the back side, you just jam the wire in there, and you'll feel it click. That's it, the wire's ran. Then you run it to whatever component you need to, and then once you get the Megasquirt powered on, you set whatever the parameter is in the software on Tuner Studio, and that's it. It literally could not be any easier than that. If you are afraid or intimidated by running a standalone ECU computer engine management system, I am here to tell you, fear not, my friends. It is worth every single penny, and it goes together so good, so good. They did a really good job on this thing. And yeah, man, that's so we've got about 17 minutes here, which is perfect, right around the time that I wanted this to be. I am excited to get this car running. I wish I was going to be around to actually help campaign it. There's a few more things that I have going on here that I'm going to surprise you with. The wheel and tire package, which you may have seen. Man, they're gorgeous. I mean, I want to keep that for a full, when the car is done, like that's just going to be the finishing touch, because these things are sick. What else? Oh, check this out. This is really cool. Let's see if I can get this. Let me put you down here. Just a second. Okay. For the clutch on this car, we have something really trick and really expensive. But we got a really good deal on it, especially when it comes out of your other car that's broken. So that's the best kind of price. Freebie. Let me find, here we go. It looks like hammered dog crap right now. And I talked it up a whole bunch, so I want it to actually look good when you see it. Anyway, here you go. Boom. Let's get some light on this. This is an RPS. Oh, yeah. RPS carbon, billet carbon triple aluminum flex plate flywheel. This is not an automatic. So this bad mamma jamma right here is what's going to go into the car. This will hold all the boost, all the power, all the everything. Like, this girl came to party, and we're gonna party. Anyway, enough being really super corny here. That's it, man. That's the update for right now. I will try and keep these a little bit more current. I will try not to make these 20-minute Rambletron videos like this one is. But I had a lot of stuff to update you guys on, and I really wanted to get it out there. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the subscriptions. please, if you haven't and you like this video and you want to see more of this girl right here, then hit subscribe down below. Make sure you head over to your Facebook, give me a like on there, and follow me on Instagram. I am Rye with Bull City Speed, and I am going to bed, homie. Peace.